Ryo Saiba is a sweeper, a bodyguard for hire, reputedly the finest shot with a gun in all of Shinjuku. He's also a lech, who only accepts beautiful female clients just to get a look at their bodacious bodies. Keeping watch on him is his partner Kaori. She's the sister of his ex-partner Hideyuki, who was killed in the line of duty. Kaori has talents herself, being able to produce enormous mallets seemingly from thin air whenever Ryo is hitting on ladies. She isn't afraid to hit him. That's the plot of City Hunter. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. This is the PC Engine Files, and that description is based on an entry from the PC Engine Software Bible, with all credit due to them. But even without that description, you might already be familiar with City Hunter. It is a quite popular series of manga, and it has been adapted multiple times into anime and films. As recently as 2019, there was yet another adaptation of City Hunter, and it has had numerous spin-offs as well. Now, owing to the popularity of City Hunter, this game does have a translation patch, which is available courtesy of Cabbage. His website, let me just pull up the URL. Shoot, didn't have it in front of me. Cabbage, pce.cabbage.cx. Sorry about that, should have had that right in front of me when I was recording this voiceover, but you can get the patch there. However, for the PC Engine Files, I decided to play this cold without using the English patch, just to see how far a non-Japanese speaker could get in the game. And to my surprise, the answer is pretty darn far, because this game has elements of elevator action and impossible mission 2, and you'll see what I mean by that right away, since you are scrolling from left to right, firing a gun at multiple enemies who come up from you in either direction, trying to take you out with their own guns, and you also have doors that you can go into that have items and power-ups and sometimes entire new levels that you didn't know were there. So aside from actual elevators, it very much has the elevator action feel, and in part of completing a mission where you have to achieve certain goals in order to progress, very much Impossible Mission 2. So City Hunter has a lot going for it and is quite accessible even without the English language patch. So I was having a blast playing this game. My only downfall was that I was unable to find any of the quote-unquote nurses who restore your health. So the more hits I took, the lower in health I got, and this is a one life game. That's why you have such a large life bar. When you get hit too many times, game over, man, game over. So you got to know where they are, and if you don't, you got to be careful. And if you're not careful, you'll wind up dead. I'll be careful. You'll be careful. You'll be dead. Yes, we all know that scene from the cantina. Or was that a bar? Whatever it was. No, the cantina is where the music was playing later. The bar was just a general bar that he happened to be in when he met with Han Solo. He and Ben Kenobi met with him and procured the services of the Millennium Falcon. The cantina was later. I'm getting totally sidetracked here. What am I trying to say? What I'm saying is you have to meet with these characters in these various rooms to get information, get items, progress the game. So once I apply the English patch created by Cabbage, I'm sure some of this will make a lot more sense, but just doing it randomly with no additional help, I still did pretty darn well. I managed to acquire 2 key items in the course of this gameplay, and I don't know when, where, or how I would use them, but the fact I was able to acquire them simply by entering rooms and talking to the NPCs in them made it very easy to obtain progression in this game, and the only thing stopping me was my own health bar. Now, should you try to acquire City Hunter for yourself in a physical form? Well, that's going to be an interesting question, because It is based on a popular manga which was turned into an anime and a series of films, so that does tend to add value for collectors who are, much like my cat, very angry that they can't have everything they want. So you may spend extra money trying to get this game because of the popularity of the series and the number of people who collect anything related to the series. A complete copy can be had for anywhere from 85 to 125 bucks. Loose copies sometimes as low as 90, sometimes as high as 150. Yeah, this is going to be one of those pricey games if you're a collector of PC Engine TurboGrafx 16 games. So I wouldn't normally say this because obviously it's not something I'm going to just outright 100% say this is a preferred way to go about things. But I'm just being honest with you. That's a lot of money to spend on one game, so emulation is a really good way to go with City Hunter, especially since you can apply the English language patch and get even more out of this game. And it's a pretty good game as it is, even without the English patch. But if you can apply it and play it in emulation, even better. And if you have a TurboGrafx 16 and an EverDrive, even better yet. And if you have the Super SD System 3, well then, by God, you're good to go. If you had the incredible good fortune to find a copy of this loose and you're not living in Japan and it costs under $20, holy shit, get on that and grab that as fast as you can. I don't see the odds of that being very high. I think the only places you would find this are, ironically enough, in Japan, in places like Shinjuku or Akihabara, probably at a store like Super Potato. I think you would be paying the prices that it's going for on eBay right now because they tend to know what things are worth. So this one, it's tricky because I think you should play it. It's really good. Sometimes with PC Engine games, when I feature them, they're just okay. They're kind of interesting historically. They're undiscovered games. As somebody once told me, it's great that you profile these games because I didn't know about them before I saw your video. And that's great. I want everybody to discover more of the PC Engine library. But I recognize that in doing so, I'm also telling you about some things that can be wildly expensive at times because of the rarity of PC Engine and TurboGrafx games, both in Japan and in North America, probably even more so the latter. There are still some PC Engine games that you can get for reasonable amounts in Japan, but not all of them, especially if they're not late releases, or not that they're not, got tongue-tied there, sorry. If they're not from the late PC Engine era, if they're not late releases, then maybe the later they are, the more expensive they're likely to be. And the later they are, the more limited the print run will be. And if they're tied into a popular franchise, anime, movie, manga, whatever, that's going to make it even more expensive. And if it's something that's developed a legendary status like Sapphire, then just forget about it. That's hundreds of dollars. Well, in an ideal world, we would all be able to buy all of the games for classic retro consoles, but we don't live in that ideal world. We live in the real world. And in the real world, I just got killed by this person with a flamethrower. So that's where this session of City Hunter will end. But that just means it's time for me to apply the patch and start all over again. So check this one out, but maybe don't spend $150 on it. I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and thanks for watching.